Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we're here again. But sadly, it's only the three of us. So before we start, let me introduce myself. I am Isna Mahdinawanda. Some of you know me as Anggita, and with me are...
I'm Fida, the name of Fiza, and for yourself call me Fida, and I'm so excited for the second episode, and I hope our Adi Umi and brothers and sisters can more participating by sending questions and also sending the team that we can discuss here.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Hamida Janti, and
Yes.
I forgot to say. I'm sorry. So basically, this topic was suggested by me. So I wanna. Can I tell them why I?
Yeah.
So I chose this topic because one day I was so busy crocheting in college. Crocheting is like an after class. It's like college after class. So and my friends asked me, "How did you learn it?" And I said, "I learned it from YouTube." And it was like, "By yourself? No one taught you before?" And it's like, yeah, it was like that. And so that's how these ideas come to my mind because I think everyone has this habit before, but turns out not everyone have the idea of self-learning itself. So that's how.
So we come up with the topic self-learning, bringing effectivity to growth, because we're gonna talk more about that. But I think let's define self-learning, because for me, self-learning itself is like it speeds up a lot of my development and growth, because a lot of things that even when I was at school, I felt that I don't have like I'm not the smartest kid in the class, and I don't have a good attention span. So what I learn is like I don't actually fully learn in class, but every time I try to understand a subject, I tend to go over the subject again at home and finding my own formulations and ideas, method of how to comprehend the subject. Okay, so maybe we should define what is self-learning.
Yeah, for me, self-learning is like you try new things, but by yourself. So also the things that we learn by ourselves with every method and every ways that efficient for us. So it can be something that you learn from YouTube or something that you learn from book, some kind like that.
Yeah. So before we continue, is everything okay with the audio and everything? Yes, Sofa, we're here with Sofa and Farah today. Yes, everything is okay with the audio? Okay, so everything is working fine, thankfully, because we want all of you to join in when we discuss about self-learning. Please put in your questions in the comment sections and try to, if you have any ideas, in the next few minutes, we're gonna read it through after we do a little bit of discussion. And we're also open for topic suggestions, like next week or the next week around. We have several ideas for next week, maybe the week after that. We're open for suggestions, and we want to invite anyone who is intrigued or would be interested to be a part of our discussion, whether you just want to exercise your English, read out your questions. We can connect through Zooms, even you're not here online, or even if you want to come offline, you can come to our humble studio. So let's continue. Like Hamita said, self-learning about is something that we learn by ourselves without being taught. Right? Yeah. What about you, Vic?
Yeah, I also think I think same with Kangita's and Pamita's opinion that I think self-learning is having a comprehension plan to attain specific capabilities or skills. And also from self-learning, we can decide by ourselves like what is our method, what is our approaches to reach that goal that we want. And
Mhm.
I think, for example, when we were in college or in school, the teacher and the lecturer gave us like a lesson or like a general substance. And then
Yeah.
the one that memorizing and also summarizing exercises about the test is us. So I think it also considered as self-learning process on that, because we are figuring out how we can more understand about something, about the lesson or about the substance.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly. Yeah, and I think for me myself, self-learning is the activity of mastering something without active teaching from other people. Because our self-learning, we watch a lot of YouTube or we go by instinct. For example, I think one of the things that I self-learned, but like define it as self-learning later on, is the things that the software that we use in computer, like PowerPoints, Words, Excel, like we go by instinct based on the instructions given by the software instead of looking up like how to use Excel, how to use PowerPoint, those kind of things. So that's a self-learning. And I think a lot of people, I think each and every people has different ways in learning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Some feel that they are. I think I'm better at learning if I learn together with other people. I'm better at learning if someone explained to me about how things work. But so understanding that, so with different types of learning, do we need to know the importance of self-learning itself, or I can get by without any kind of self-learning, right? Or how do you feel? For me, it's important, but I want to know, like, if you have any comments or ideas, please do not hesitate to chat with us.
Like for me, if it's about the importance of self-learning itself, it's really important because so we don't depending ourselves in other so on other people. So it's like we don't be a burden for them. So it's
Yes.
like it's more comfortable for me myself.
Mhm. Yeah.
Actually, I'm agree with that, but I also think that why self-learning is important, because I think what all of the information, all of the substances or lesson that we know, it's I think it's still too general. So I think we still have to make it customized to our personality and how we what we get something. So yeah, I think it's important because it's the way we receive information, it's not that generalized. So yeah, we have to customize and in order to make us more understand about something.
Yeah, yeah. Like the customization about, I think because of the purpose and the time period that we need to master something, make us self-learn, because sometimes there are things that we cannot, if we join courses, then we need like 3 months,
It took a
but
long time.
we need it right now. Like
Yeah.
we're learning about the things that we want to make a YouTube channel right now, so we need to learn it by a day. So this happens. And then, but I think about the way we master things, it's different for a lot of people. And by understanding about our method of learning, it will give us a quicker way in understanding things and then to make that happen. So I think my next thought is about why don't we share how we self-learn? Share our experience about have you done self-learning? It doesn't have to be a successful learning. So I had a lot of things that are quite unsuccessful or like stop in the middle of learning than everything else. And I think I want to make comparison with a conventional learning where we go into institutions, into courses and everything to learn something. Although it's not apple to apple, it's not the same mastery, but I think we can see like the durations and then the time we spend for that. So anyone who want to go first?
So from let me be first. So for me, the thing that I learned by myself is crocheting. It's like pure by myself, but I can't say that this is a half and half I learned. half failure and half success because my target actually make it pretty, but it's not pretty. It's still like weird. So yeah, it still look messy. So I still need a little bit of practice.
Beauty is in
in-
the eye of the beholder, so it can be pretty because it's like the fruit of your effort.
Yeah, but I think it's a success. But at the same time, because my mom actually did make a hat for my dad, so I was like, my mom cannot say this as a success. So
Okay.
she was like, no, you have more way to go. She was like that. So like, okay, I think this is the fail. So that's how this turns out, how success and how fail. So
Okay.
yeah,
But are you actually using that bag?
I'm not.
Okay.
Since it's still a bit tricky because I'm afraid that my phone can like broken because it's like
Yeah.
falling.
Yeah. Okay, but it's nice.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations on getting something done.
Yeah.
So actually, the result of the learning itself, like the stitches in crocheting, right?
Yeah.
Like the straight lines, and you said you wanna try a more
Mm.
sophisticated stitches for
Yeah.
crocheting. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So my way, the tips that I use to
How do you self-learn?
like,
Yeah.
how
How do
I self-learn this, it's actually the purpose, the first purpose is because I always daydreaming. So I can spend like 2 hours for daydreaming. So it's like, oh, it was really a waste of time. So I need something to cover it up. So I was like trying crocheting.
So we
but-
talk about this for people who are like me, I cannot empathize about daydreaming, but maybe some of you has the same case with Famita and you can empathize. Please put in the comments if you are a daydreamer like Famita is. Okay,
Yeah,
please
so
continue.
yeah, so it's basically because I was a daydreamer, so I learned crocheting. So it turns out really fun because while daydreaming, I can make something. So I can spend like 2 hours with my mom looking at me. You are daydreaming again, and so I was like, and I also again, if I'm in a bus, so it's like I barely exist. So like I always sleep in the bus. So I was like, I have an activities now, so it's fun. So the tips that I have is like make it fun for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like find a way to make it fun for you. So it's like it's happiness. You find happiness by learning something. It's the important part. So and also trying every methods like if you don't find yourself comfortable enough while using YouTube for learning something, then you can use apps. Like if you want to learn languages, you can use like Duolingo or uh, the one that learn Japanese. I
Yeah.
use that too. So there are so many methods that we can use. So I think trying a lot of and try to find a more comfortable way to learn. It's also important. Also consistency. Because if
Yeah.
you don't consistent, you cannot make this happen.
It's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Consistency. So,
Exactly.
yeah, that's the way.
Okay, I'm trying to look for the chats. So yeah, you can go first with.
Yeah, I think I have this one that maybe quite successful. It was when I was learning Korean languages, like a year ago. And yeah, I think about the process itself because in learning new languages, you can observe first whether it's using a general alphabet or not. If it's having like a specific alphabet like Korean, Chinese, or Japanese, I think it's important to learn how to write and how to read the Hangul and also the specific alphabet. And I think yeah, the first tip for me is to actually, like Famita said, you can find a fun applications on your devices. Like I'm downloading this several apps that I could like it's like a games, and then, like I can write the Hangul and then exercising, and it's very helpful for me to learn that. And also, actually, learning Korean language is one of the activities that I learned from one of our class in system and planning.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
on that, we have to also record our progress to actually seeing our progress. So I think it's also very helpful because want it or not, we have to make progress
Yeah.
to make a video of
Yeah,
it. So
exactly.
yeah, and then it's very fun because every week, every meeting, we have to present that to other people. So we know other people's journey and our other people's progress, and also we can see our own progress by the videos. And I think yeah, although it's self-learning, but I think we can what find another people that also experiencing self-learning, that pursuing the same goal for us, like although it's self-learning, but I think we can gain another support and another spirit from other people that also learn self-learning. I think that's my experience.
Yeah. So how the sequence and procedure of how
That's right.
the successful ones has done it, and it makes us easier to self-learn using the methods that they've done. But I think a lot of customization is required when we
Yeah.
self-learn. Okay, for me myself, like I've done self-learned skill. Um, like I said, softwares in computer, but because it's something that we continuously use, so it keeps on growing based on the level of difficulties of things that we want to do. So for example, if I want to make like PowerPoint presentations using sounds, using animations, 3D animations, adding pictures and everything. So I learned by doing, and it continued to grow and it stops to the level of the kind of presentations I want to make. So some people like creating more sophisticated presentations in PowerPoints, but the level of mastery of PowerPoints that I have is required for, you can see it when I use it for my presentations. Okay. And that also applies for Words and Excel. And then it grows. I felt the growth of my Word software is when I have to work in a team and we were doing editing and revision for reports. And then those I can see checked, like revision tools, like how the same people can actually use the same documents and then put on comments and then put on revisions. And then we can have several versions of the same documents. We can save different types of the one which has the revision on, the first revision, second revision, and everything. So it's growing because of those needs. And I think one of the most significant is sewing, but I'm not good at sewing. I'm not diligent at sewing, and video editing. So I think my self-learning steps is first I create the target. It doesn't have to be, I underline the word target because goal is like the final destinations that we want to have in that mastery. For example, for crocheting, you want to be able to create all types of things that can be
So,
that can be sold or can be made by doing crocheting, right? And you want it to be more cute, more
Yeah.
pretty, more like you can have this combinations of colors, you want to have combinations of designs and everything. So that's the goal. But the target itself is like a more attainable, possible, feasible target that we need to establish at the first step. So my first step is not as feasible as it should be, is making a dress. It's not like Famita is creating something small, but I'm making a full dress for my first target of sewing. And secondly, for video editing is creating a 3-minute music video. And secondly, and the third is after creating the target, I'm collecting these ideas of how to do it. So knowing about the resources, the ways to do it, the things that are needed to make the target that I want to have, the skills, the smaller skills. So if you want to make a dress, then you need a hand stitching skills, sewing machine skills, machine sewing skills, probably, and then also pattern making skills. So basically, those are the 3 basic things that you have to do. And I broke down those targets into different targets, but doing it at the same time. So it doesn't have to be complicated, and we don't have to. That's the beauty of self-learning. We don't have to go to like a week of hand sewing course, a month of machine sewing course, 3 months of pattern making course. Because we want to do something specific, then it can be something that is we can find from books. YouTube videos back in the days, I'm not that old, but like at that time, it's not as easy as it is right now. So I'm learning it from books. And I know someone, Kaida, is better at sewing than me. So I have a consultant for that. Every time I find bumps along the way, she's just a call away. So, and then the next thing is I prepare all the resources optimally. So it doesn't have to be ideal. The first time around, I didn't buy my own sewing machine. I use the ones that my friends have, my sisters have. So like I use what I have and then like buy the things with minimum capital, with minimum financial investment, just to be able to do it. So it's like, so do not stop when you say, oh, I have to buy this. If you're learning something and I have to buy the software and the price is like something million, blah 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 and everything, and then like, okay, I'll stop learning. So it's not gonna work. Okay, so just do it optimally. There's always a way. And the fourth is do it and make minimal target each sessions. Like I said, broke it down. Do not try to make the dress in 1 day or 1 hour. Break it down into like an optimal time. So it's like a week or 3 days is fine, or like 2 weeks if you're that lazy. And then just do it. And then finish the target despite of the quality. So this is the proof. You have to finish the target so you have this sense of accomplishment. At least you are successful at something. At least you learn something. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you learn something. And then repeat the above steps for the next target. So Hamita's next target is going to be a hat, which has a higher level of difficulty, but she's gonna do it again, and then we're gonna repeat all the steps. Yes, that's from me. It's a bit long, but if any one of you have the same experience, like put in the comments so we can share about your experiences through our social media and also for our next discussion. And we're coming to a 30-minute marks. Do we have any questions? No? Do we have any viewers?
Actually, that they're watching.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. There are people watching, but do you want to write comments? Okay. We have likes, we have views. Please comment below. Okay. So, yes. Okay, so we're gonna continue. So what do you think about self-learning itself and what is crucial in self-learning? For me, I think self-learning is something that humans have innately. So because we learn to walk, we learn to crawl, we learn to stand on our own, aside from seeing other people or adults or our parents do those things, but basically we go by instinct. about how to grow on everything. And at the same time, because when we were born, we just lay around. We like the only thing we are able to do is laying, and then like there are
Right.
steps of how when babies sitting, crawling, standing, walking around a certain time and age. So I think it's innately for human. And thinking about back in the days when there were no houses, there were no buildings, there were no cars and motorcycle, like people innately, instinctively trying to find ways to survive. And then they think about how to make fire, how to hunt, how to harvest, how to grow anything into food, to grow foods and everything, and then how to make houses. Maybe it start off from shelter, and then it's not good enough to survive the typhoon or rainstorm and everything. So people try to make it more sturdy with better quality, better resources and everything. But nobody taught them how to do that, right? It's only them and nature, and then like I have to survive this, and then they make it. But for us right now, we can just buy houses, we can build houses based on the technology and knowledge that people have nowadays, right?
Right.
So what do you think about what is crucial in self-learning, and what are like the lesson learned from your experience of self-learning itself?
So for me, I agree with Kangita that human develop things like by
Yeah.
themselves and nature, because uh in the previous day I came to a seminar with about which is about
Ah,
mining, and they have a truck. So nowadays, turns out I thought there's still human there. So there's no human there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, now
So you're
they're
thinking
controlling.
there are
Yeah.
miners under
Yeah.
the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays turns out that there's no human there, and also the truck is not controlled by humans but with a robot. So basically the humans control the robot, but it's not like they don't have to sit
Yeah.
truck themselves. So it's like
It's scheduled to go
yeah.
in the morning, and
Yeah.
then they do the mining and everything, finish, and then in a few hours, and then they go back
Yeah.
to their post and
So
everything.
the development is really like I was like, oh,
Mind
turns out, turns out this is how my life was like that. So I thought like it's not like that future kind of
Yeah.
things. It's like 2025 or like 2026 or else like that. But turns out nowadays it's already something like that. So like the and internet, there's Starlink now. So like there are like a satellite that came for themselves. So it's like, oh, it's mind blowing again. So like, okay, so people change, people develop, so develop themselves. It's like if it's not like learn by if they not learn by themselves, like, who taught them that?
Yeah.
I don't think like I don't think like suddenly they came like a people from future come to you and like, hey, there will be there will be Starlink, there will be mining robots, so like that. It's not
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
realistic. So they are learned by nature. And also the crucial part in in self-learning for me is like lack of consistency, because if there's not like in the next project
Target
from
or
Kagita,
benchmark, yeah.
from a target. So like I think I will like crocheting. It's like I still have to go to work. I have my job in college, so it's kind of tiring. So I was like, okay, we can stop. But now that I have new targets, so I have to learn it again. So lack of consistency is like the crucial moments, and also like lack of practice and get satisfied quickly.
Ah.
Yeah, it's like the most
Agree.
crucial things. When I when I learn writings, like writing new stories, like for example, I want to learn like the proof point of view from like the first person. But for me, learning it is like sometimes I'm like, oh, I satisfied enough with what I write. But then when I saw other people's writing, I was like, oh, this one is better than me. So I was like, I still have more way to go. So I learn it again. So get satisfied quickly. If you satisfied by yourself only and putting yourself as the standard is like
Yeah.
you cannot
It's
grow.
not getting you
Yeah.
anywhere. Yeah.
You can stuck like you cannot go anywhere. You're just being you and everyone developing themselves, but you still not going anywhere.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the most
yeah.
crucial moment in self-learning.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think adding from Pamita's opinion that yeah, we know that everything around us are the result of self-learning in the past, but I think it's also the one that what influenced us, the lack of awareness of self-learning itself, because we know that the technology are developed, advanced, and we think that it's not that important to self-learning because the robot, the AI, and also the what the advance of technology can do it for us.
Learn it for us.
Yeah, learn it for us. It's not like we are learning, but that technology are learning and serving it to us. So I think it's also one the most crucial things. And I think this is coming from my experience when I'm self-learning. I think it's important to find the reliable sources or resources
yes.
for you to self-learning because this is the experience when I'm learning to ride motorcycle. I was taught by my friend, and she just told me just gas the motor and then just go. And then she didn't teach me about the rules, the rambu lalu lintas, and then the sun lamp and everything. And I think it's crucial to having like reliable and valid resources to you to explore to explore the goal or the target that on your self-learning process.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think from experience, because I tried to build a business and everything, so entrepreneurial experience, self-learning became highly crucial because I stumbled upon a lot of problems and it comes like simultaneously. Like it doesn't wait for another problem to be solved and then another problem come. It's not like okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 10 at the same time and then another 10 at the same time before the problem is solved. So the need for self-learning for assessing situations and then the to learn about the problem itself and how to understand the core of the problem, finding ways to be the solution. It's like I have to be quick on my feet and there are things that I haven't known before. So it became when you suggest the topic, I was like, yeah, exactly. Self-learning, like this is something that we need because when you are faced with bigger challenges, you need the efficiency for the growth. You need a shorter time period because you don't have time. Because if you take time, for example, like if I don't understand about tax and finances, and then about the what data management and everything for my business, then I have to go to the course, data science, data management course for 3 months and 6 months. What happened to the money that I put in for those 3 months? Because it continues, all of the operations are continuing, but at the same time, I have to learn at the same time. So we try to make it as efficient as possible, like learn it as quickly as possible, or learn it as we possibly could in the period of time that is that were allowed for us to do. So if I only have one day, so the amount of information that I have here that I can put in to solve or to mitigate the problem, then that's that. I don't have any other alternative. Or I ask other people who have more experience, I have to hire more people, I have to go to consultants, I have to like use up all my friends and partners and everything, the one who is more experienced about the problem. So that in itself is a self-learning. So it became more crucial. And I think not recognizing about those challenges and those opportunities that come our way that needed self-learning, it became like a barrier for self-development. So people doesn't want to try new things because it's so hard to learn. It's so expensive to learn and everything because but nowadays like I don't know if we can something that we cannot find the resources in the internet. I don't know. Aside from like
Dark web or something.
yeah.
Aside from that.
and everything. So I think it's crucial. What is crucial in self-learning is very simple, but again, we have to want to do it. So the passion needs to be there. The purpose needs to be there. So number one is having the goal and purpose, a very practical purpose. So it cannot be, I want to be rich. It doesn't, it has to be a definition. So for example, I want to go umroh this year and I need 30 million rupiah. So it's like that. And then you have to self-learn about how to attain that much money in the, if it's this year, then I only have a month left. For example, so how do I attain 30 million rupiah in a good way in a month?
In
So-
a good way.
In a good way, not stealing, not taking anybody's life, not scamming and everything in a good way. So a lot of people will think it's not possible. But if we have a purpose, then we will like rack our brain and then try to find ways how to do that without taking a loan, without everything. We can sell our stuff. We can also like sell our skills. We can sell our things, right? Right? Just try it, right? Like, okay, let's the things that I have right now, I can like do customization and then sell. If I can sell something, if I don't need a lot of investment, I need a 1 million rupiah investment, and then I sold every piece for 100,000 rupiah profit. Then how many do I need to sell? So I need to sell 300 of these things, right? So like, can I do that in a month? Or I can partner with other people who can make 300 and then have the network to solve those kind of things and blah, 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 and everything. So if we have a purpose, everything is possible. And secondly, like you said, our problem is going to be consistency. And then like Fida also said, like in our previous discussion about the lack of the quality measurement. And like you said, if the benchmark is ourselves, easily satisfied, then we're not getting anywhere. So a progressive benchmark, a progressive target is highly needed for self-learning. So make a new target higher than before, or make a new target to make an improvement from the previous one. So my video editing experience is like the first video I edit is like it's very basic. It's very basic. So basically it's just like, so the skills that I needed to do that is the ability to put in pictures, video, combine it together and transitions, and how to put in audio. That's it. And then it's there. Both of you have done video editing, right? Yeah. So, and we can compare the first video we made and the video we can make now. And we can make after we advance in the skills and the things we can do now because we forget about it. We don't do video editing anymore. So those kind of things is like having progressive benchmark, challenging yourself. That's why I like going into competitions and then like taking on projects, taking on if there are like seminars, there are like challenges to do a project, a group project and everything. Just try it out because it's like, it's a way to have a purpose to gain new skills, right? Any kind of experience that you self-learn because you have to do something.
Oh, I suffer because I have to do something. Hmm, for that, maybe for me, it's like what? Sorry, repeat the first.
You can
Okay,
go
so,
first. Do you
yeah.
have those though? Or it's most likely like things that I want to learn this and then you learned it.
I think I have that. I think the Korean language is one of that, and I also learned violin. But when I learned violin, I think this come to my mind that I don't know, everything is not can be self-learning that in the process. So I think for that advanced playing like that, I think we still need like what the supervising or something that control us. But I think the one that I have the things that I learned that I have that I need is riding motorcycle because yeah to it's really emergency that I talk to my friend to teach me how to do it because yeah it's I think I did it and I think along the way because I need it I also learned about how to ride the motorcycle properly
Safely.
yeah safely and getting my driving license and everything yeah I think that's one of my experience
Yeah.
But the funniest one, Vida doesn't learn the rules, but she learned how to ride it. I
Yeah,
know
I
all
know.
the rules, but I don't know how to ride a bike. I know all the rules in in way.
Yeah, like a
But you can
practical
ride
way.
bicycles, right?
I can ride bicycle,
Okay, but motorcycle.
yeah,
Yeah.
motorcycle is kind of different thing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you need to catch up on the skills.
Yeah.
Knowing the
You
rules.
can
Yeah.
teach each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can do
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that I learned because I want it is like I creating something that barely even touch. Like let's say there is this bag that we don't really use
Yeah.
because it has like a picture, like a picture of a girl wearing hijab. It was like I don't want to wear this at my college, so I was like, let's put it something on it. So I was like, so that's creating something because I really want it because I need it actually. So I cover it with
A fabric.
little fabrics like that I have is what it was like the red one and silk. So I was like, and then
You sew.
I saw. I was like, then turns out it's better than I thought. So, and I
Becoming
started
something new.
Yes.
yeah, I make something new from something that I already have.
Yeah.
It's something that kind of maybe creating
It's
something is like
satisfying.
something that I really like. So
Yeah. Since you were a kid, you like to create things.
yeah,
I think you have it from your mom.
Yeah,
Mom likes to create
my
things.
mom likes to create something, so
Yeah.
there are a lot of crafts, like sometimes like cactus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then recycle and make
recycle,
it something new.
yeah,
And she teaches those things to little kids
yeah.
around here. Yes, so we've talked about a lot of things. Yeah, I think like maybe we're gonna share in our socials about the next thing we're gonna talk about. We have different kind of topics that we want to talk about, right? We want to talk about related about public speaking and then about like how competition can actually help us to do something and also talking about needs and wants. Do we
Needs
do
or
we really need something,
or
or it's
just
just
want?
something we want, or it's something we want and then we make it as if it's something we need, right? Okay, so a lot of things, but we wanna have your suggestions, even though you're not live streaming this video. just look up on our videos and watch our videos and then give your comments on the comment section and also suggestions. If you want to join in, do DM us in our Instagram at Mahdina Forum. And you can also put in the comments if you want that. If you know us personally, then you can also contact us personally and then tell us about the time that you have and everything, the topic that you want to suggest for us to discuss. So basically, we're just having fun, right? We're still getting the hang of it about the technicality of things and everything, but we're growing and we're self-learning about everything. So, and also like a big applause for Safa for learning all of these in a week. So we have different operators because everyone is so busy. You're busy this week, right?
Yeah.
You're very busy this week, and I'm busy this week, and everything. But aside from that, like having discussion in English is something that we love, and hopefully you love too. And I think a lot of your friends also, a lot of your friends, a lot of my friends are interested to be part of this discussion, to exercise our English, and also to broaden out our insight, and also share our opinions, have fun, share our funny stories, experiences that can be useful to other people.
Yes.
Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in and viewing this video, and hopefully more of you will view this video and take on the valuable things that the beneficial things that we have discussed, and hopefully Farah can join us next week. Yay! So, and hopefully we have other speakers joining us next week. It's going to be every Tuesday on 7:30 Indonesia time, 7:30 p.m. Indonesia time, and 1:30 p.m. European time. So hopefully, because we are still preparing a lot of things, we haven't shared this to our friends abroad. We should share this to our friends abroad, and maybe they will pitch in. Hopefully, we can ask them to join by using Zoom. Okay, any last words?
Is there any comment?
Do we have? No?
Uh,
Is it? I cannot see comments. Why? Okay. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining in. And hopefully the ones who cannot watch it today, you can watch it in your own time before you go to bed, early in the morning, on your commute to work, or going back home from your schools and everything. You can listen to this, listen to our beautiful voices, and then like give on your thoughts in the comments and everything. Thank you. That's all for today. Don't forget, see you next Tuesday. Wassalamualaikum.